When choosing a seat after booking a flight, you may not know that there are pros and cons to selecting where on the plane you would like to sit, especially if you're new to flying. So in this video, I'm going to share which seats on the plane you should avoid and which ones you might want to consider instead. Let's go.
Dream vacations start here.
So let me start off by saying that the best seats on the plane are the upgraded seats. So these would be the premium economy, business class, and first class seats. If you can afford one of these seats, then definitely upgrade yourselves to one of these categories. But for the rest of us who have to slum it in economy, here's what you need to know when choosing a seat. First, I think everyone can agree that legroom is a huge deal, but it's not the only way an airline seat can disappoint. Some will recline, others are constantly bombarded with the scent of the airplane lavatory, but you can steer clear of most of these seats most of the time just by knowing which ones to avoid. So here are the seats you should stay away from when it comes time to selecting your seat. Number 1, the seat at the back of any section. These seats are usually found just in front of a bank of lavatories or a galley. They're great if you don't like to recline or can't stand having your seat kicked in from the person behind you. If you like this comfort, then this is the seat for you, but for the rest of us, these seats should be avoided whenever possible. Number 2, the exit row seat. If you're just looking to get the most legroom possible, then getting an exit row seat would be the best choice for you. But if you're an average height person, then choosing one of these seats may not make the most sense. For one, there's no seat in front of you, which means no underseat storage, so you have to put everything in the overhead bins during takeoff and landing. The seats also have a reduced width because since there's no seat in front of you with a tray table, the tray table for these seats are stored in the armrest, making the armrest bulkier, and thus making your seat just slightly narrower. Also, it will be colder sitting by the exit door since it does not have any insulation due to the inner mechanics of the exit door. To go along with the exit row seats are the rows in front of the exit row. To ensure that the exit rows remain clear for emergencies, the row of seats in front of the exit row don't recline or only recline slightly. So if you're looking to recline your seat during your flight, don't choose these seats. Next are the seats near the bathroom. Not only do you get the aromas coming from the bathrooms, but more often than not, you can expect a constant stream of passengers going in and out of the bathrooms during your flight. And if you're wanting to sleep on the plane, the constant opening and closing of the bathroom doors, along with the lights from the bathrooms, can make for a restless flight. You may also experience a line forming for the bathroom, in which case you can expect to have people standing next to you, steadying themselves on your seat back, or using it to help stretch out their legs, making your seat jiggle back and forth. And as people try to move past each other in the narrow aisle, you're most likely to get bumped if you're sitting in an aisle seat. And let's not forget the projecting over the engine noise conversations you'll be treated to while trying to sleep. But perhaps the worst place to be on the plane is the last row. Not only are you near the bathrooms and the smells that come from them, but you also experience seats that don't recline and a constant crowd of impatient passengers waiting to use the bathroom. And when your plane has arrived at the gate, don't bother getting up for at least 10 minutes. By the time your aisle is clear for you to go, it'll just be you and the cleaning crew. Another seat you may want to consider avoiding are seats in the bulkhead rows. And if you're not familiar with the term, it simply means a row of seats that are directly behind a wall or a curtain that separates cabins on an airplane. A lot of people consider these seats the best seats on the airplane if flying economy, and they usually cost extra to sit in them. I personally do not care for them, even though they do provide extra legroom and you don't have to worry about anybody reclining into your space. The main reason I don't like them is because just like the exit row seats, they don't have underseat storage. I like to have my backpack where I can easily get into it and not have to keep standing up and down to get the items I need in the overhead bins. I also don't like staring at a wall for the duration of my flight. I like to see space and also check out what's going on around me. Unless you have things in front of you, people also like to use the bulkhead space as a cut through to get to the opposite aisle. Let's now talk about the window seat. There's some pros and cons to the window seat. Let's start with the pros. The window seat is going to give you just a little bit more separation from the people you're sitting next to, and that is because you're able to lean into the side of the airplane, and you can also be used to rest your head against, which can be great if you're trying to sleep during the flight. The cons are that you're trapped in your seat, and it's not going to be easy to get out to either grab some things out of the overhead bins or use the bathroom. I've always found it awkward to wake up the stranger sitting next to me so they can move out of my way so that I can use the bathroom. And let me know if you feel the same way. The other con is that it tends to be harder to communicate with the flight attendants over the jet noise to give them your drink and snack order. I generally like the window seat, but only for flights less than 3, maybe 4 hours. Anything longer than that, and I'm choosing an aisle seat so that I can easily get up if I need to without disturbing anyone else. But just be careful about certain window seats. You can end up with either a tapered window seat or a misaligned window seat. Tapered window seats are located at the back of some planes where you end up with a few rows of 2 seats. This may seem like a great option since there won't be a middle seat, but there are some issues with these seats. One, There's usually a gap between the seat and the wall, eliminating the ability to lean up against it. Second, the person sitting behind you could end up claiming the extra space as their extra legroom, which could mean you could constantly be seeing wiggling feet in your peripheral vision for the duration of your flight, which can be annoying. The misaligned window seat is when the window is not actually next to you where you can look out, but blocked by the seats themselves. This can create a disappointment if you actually want to be able to look out the window. Not only that, but it can also create lighting issues, as the window in front of you and behind you may peek into your row, but you won't be able to control them. And speaking of lighting issues, you should also consider where the sun is going to be located on your flight. For example, if you're flying from south to north, on a morning flight, the sun will be shining through the right side of the plane when facing forward and the left side of the plane for an afternoon flight. So if you prefer not to have the sun shining in your face or having sun glare, be sure to sit in the opposite side of where the sun is going to be on your flight. And for you new flyers out there, even if the weather is cloudy, the plane does fly above the clouds for the most part, so you can expect it to be sunny during your flight. Next is what I like to call the DMS, or dreaded middle seat. These seats are always the last to be claimed, meaning the later you book, the more likely you are to resign yourself to battling your window and aisle seat mates for the extra few centimeters of the armrest. And if you're sitting in a window or aisle seat, please let the person with the middle seat get the armrest. It's kind of an unspoken rule anyway, but it's bad enough that they have to sit in the middle seat. The least you could do is offer them the armrest. Moving on to the aisle seats, these are beneficial since you can get up and grab items out of the overhead bins or use the bathrooms without having to ask anyone to move. You can also use the aisle to stretch out your legs or use it for extra elbow room. If you're looking to get some work done on the plane, consider sitting on the opposite side of your dominant hand. For example, if you're right-handed, you might want to sit on the left-hand side of the plane when facing forward in an aisle seat so that you can move your right arm into the aisle without having to worry about hitting anyone next to you. So keep that in mind when selecting a seat on your flight. The downside to the aisle seat is that you will have to get up and move out of the way if someone in your row needs to get up. You also won't have a place to lean your head against. However, some airplanes do have headrests where the sides can extend and wrap around your head where you can lean against it. Another downside is that you may get bumped as people are moving up and down the aisles, or from the beverage cart the flight attendant uses to serve drinks and snacks. As far as where to sit to experience the least amount of turbulence, those seats will be located over the wings of the airplane. This is because that is where the center of gravity for the airplane is located, and everything pivots from that point. You can think of the airplane as kind of like a seesaw, where the middle moves very little, but the ends experience the greatest movements. I'll also add that the best time of day to avoid turbulence on a flight is either in the morning or evening. So because there are so many different types of aircraft that are being flown around the world, how do you even know what a good seat is and a bad seat is when choosing a seat for your flight? Well, luckily, there's a great resource that you can use to help you decide where to sit on your flight, and that resource is Seat Guru. Just enter your flight information, and Seat Guru will pull up the seat map for your exact flight and give you information about each seat on the airplane and even color code the seats that you might want to avoid. I go to this site a lot before I select the seats for my flights, just so I can avoid ending up with a bad seat. So where's your favorite place to sit on the plane? Let me know in the comment section of this video. For me, I like to sit either just in front of the wings or just behind the wings. And I typically choose to sit in the window seat except for the longer flights, mostly because I do enjoy looking out of the window and also because it's a more stable place to sit on the plane. Let me know if you have any questions, and be sure to check out some of my other videos that may be helpful to you as well. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I hope to catch you again in a future video.